All right, we are live.
All right, welcome everyone to the City Council meeting for Monday, October 13th. We could have a roll call, Madam Clerk, to establish quorum.
David Avanzino.
Here.
Steve Holofield.
Here.
Harry Meyer.
Here.
Rochelle Moyer is absent with notice. Susan Gerning.
Here.
Terry McClung.
I'm here.
After staying with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. All right, our first item of business is to open this up for a public hearing for the Eureka Springs Transit System. At this time, we will have Smitty, Director of Eureka Springs Transit, give an update and a report, and then we'll take public comments.
Good evening. You have a handout in front of you. I'll read this and then afterwards follow any questions then. This is a public hearing at Eureka Springs Transit System. I'm Ken Smith, Director of the Eureka Springs Transit System. This hearing is a requirement of the Federal Transit Administration, FTA, and the Arkansas Department of Transportation. And I'll read it and answer any questions later. This year has been a challenging one for transit. We're still in need of drivers. We started the year with several new drivers, but through the year we lost several drivers, 2 experienced drivers and 1 new driver who by his own determination said that this was not for him. Driving a trolley in our town is not for everyone. We are still paying more overtime than I would like, but we must do that to keep the service at the level we want to provide. Current economic conditions have led to increased prices, particularly for automotive parts. Many components, especially electronics, are not made in the United States. We have not had a problem getting parts, but we are paying more for them. We are able to purchase a new tram for our tram tours. We opted for an electric tram, and it's been a fantastic addition to our fleet. When we ordered the tram, it was early January. After ordering the tram, the manufacturer contacted us that due to tariffs imposed, the cost of the tram increased $20,000. They asked us to pay an additional $15,000 and they would eat the other $5,000. That's just an example of the rise in prices we are experiencing. Total cost of the tram with the trailer was $113,135. For 2025, we requested 2 trolleys with federal funding. However, we were told that federal funding was limited. We were only awarded funding for 1 trolley. Since we had the funds, we decided to buy the 2nd trolley ourselves. So we ordered the 2 trolleys. The cost per trolley is $272,760. The manufacturer told us they were running 14 to 16 months on order. So we do not expect these vehicles until sometime in 2026. The funding from the FDA will be an 80-20 match, $54,552 being our part of the federally funded trolley. During 2025, we have gone completely back to the funding formula which was used before the COVID pandemic and the CARES Act funds we received. In 2025, we were awarded $275,548 in administration expenses, which has an that should be an 80-20 match, and the 20 match is $55,110. In operating expenses, we budgeted our expenses at $1,02,428. From this number, we subtract the estimated fare revenue we received from trolley ticket sales, which we budgeted at $257,100. This leaves $745,328. Of this amount, there's a 50% match of $372,619, with the FDA providing the other half. As of the end of September, we have received from the FDA $507,308.81 for administration and operating reimbursements. We have spent $217,657.96 on administration expenses and $746,494.61 on operation expenses. These funds are a reimbursement format. We spend the money, then ask for the funds being reimbursed to us. RDOT oversees our spending and making sure that all federal regulations are followed. In 2025, we're receiving preventive maintenance funding through the American Rescue Act of 2021. Under this plan, any preventive maintenance we have done to vehicles or buildings is funded 100% by the FTA. To qualify for this funding source, expenses must be more than $500 and be for the repair and or maintenance of an existing vehicle or building. Under this funding, we are awarded $40,175. To date, we have received $9,406.87. That's in reimbursements. And we do have several repairs going on, which we will take out of this fund before the end of the year. Our demand response continues to grow. It seems with this service, we go up waves up and down. It just depends on the clientele. We are seeing ridership increase in this service mainly due to the service being used by an assisted living center in the county. This service runs Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. In 2025, we continued our on-demand service on Friday and Saturday nights. Ridership has been okay, about even with last year. We see mostly our visitors to our city using the service and very few locals. Fare revenue is at 36% of expenses for the service, which is acceptable to the FDA in the FDA eyes, and we will continue the on-demand service in 2026. So looking ahead to 2026, we are budgeting administration expenses $294,550. With the 80-20 match with the FDA, we're requesting $235,640 in federal funding with a match of $58,910. In our operation expenses, we are budgeting $1,074,677. From this amount, we will deduct our fare revenue, which is budgeted for next year at $268,500. This leaves $806,177. And of course, of this, there's a 50-50 match. That would mean we are requesting $403.88 in federal funds with a match of $403,088, however I said that, sorry. We requested funding for one 24-foot trolley for 2026. Cost of the trolley was estimated at $270,000 for the vehicle based on a quote from the manufacturer. Also for 2026, we have requested funding for a 1,000-gallon gasoline tank. We have been told that vehicle chassis under 30 feet, which we need to order, are no longer made with diesel engines, but only gasoline. Without the tank, we are having to drive vehicles to the police department to secure the fuel. We received an estimate from American Petroleum Incorporated for $88,075.48 for the purchase and complete installation of a double-hull tank, one of the safest on the market. Shortly after we received the estimate, the tariffs imposed by the president started going into effect. The company called us back and said to add 20% to the cost of the estimate. So we requested $108,000 in funding for the tank. And we have heard from RDOT that we have been approved for both capital expenses. Both the trolley and the gas tank will now need to go out for bid, which we are in the process of compiling. The trolley we don't expect until late 2026, and the fuel tank we hope to have installed by February of 2026. During the last half of 2025, one of the power cars for our trams has not been working. It has been the Ford dealership, and they are currently unable to find the problem with the vehicle. This is a 2015 model. We are hoping it can be repaired If not, we will investigate purchasing a replacement tram for the power car. With the preventive maintenance grant, at this time, we have not heard of the amounts for 2026 and if it will be covered by the American Rescue Act or will go back to the 80-20 match. Anything we don't use this year, however, in preventive maintenance will go folded into next year. The total matching funds we are requesting from the FDA is $1,181,836. This includes a total of 3 trolleys, carrying forward the trolleys awarded in 2025, which we are expected in 2026. We have a budgeted total match obligations of $592,150. This match will be covered by our parking fees, advertising, and tram tours, and the State Transit Trust Fund. The Trust Fund will award Transit $189,752 to use as matching funds. These funds are from RDOT and not the FTA. As always, Transit is a subrecipient of federal funding, the Arkansas Department of Transportation being the recipient. All funds come through the state, and it is their duty to make sure all federal compliances are met. This includes all documentation on spending, our drug and alcohol testing program, the Disadvantaged Business Enterprise Program, and the American with Disabilities Act, just to name a few. There are many hoops to jump through to receive the federal funding, but without them, there would be no transit in Eureka Springs. This concludes my report and public hearing. I'm always available for questions or comments about transit, available by email, phone, or come by the office. Happy to speak about transit. I'll open up any questions anyone has. Mr. McClung.
Yeah, thanks, Smitty. The trolleys, so you've got 3 of them, and I assume that you'll sell the existing units?
Yes, we...
And what kind of value do you estimate them to have?
It all depends on who wants to buy them. When a vehicle reaches, it's what's called a federal interest in the federal business, in their federal life, basically, we can sell it then. And with gov deals, we've seen it get a little about 30% more. And the ones we're going to sell this year are old. We purchased them in 2010, and my estimate we'll probably get $15,000 each for them.
Mm-hmm. So negligible comparatively.
Yes.
And it's money that helps, of course, but
yeah, it's something.
Yeah. And I have one other question, and that is, you have a service that provides ridership to Berryville, like to Walmart and things like that?
Mm-hmm. That's our share ride. That's the demand response. Yes.
Is that the one you gotta call in and?
Demand response is made by reservation. You have to call at least the day before and make a reservation.
And then what kind of fee is that?
To go to Walmart from town here is about $2 one way.
And if you wanted to go to the revenue office or something like that, that can be done. And yeah, okay.
Yeah, we go anywhere in the county. We go to Fayetteville, Bentonville. People have doctor's appointments. We take people to the airport over there. And RDOT has asked us to go into Madison County to split it with NATS, North Arkansas Transit, out of Harrison, because there's no service in Madison County. So we're going to look into extending service down there.
Thank you.
Mr. Meyer?
How much did the electric trolley cost?
The electric tram is $113,000 and change, $113,135. And it was much cheaper than in 2015. We bought the power car. It was $250,000 for that thing.
Seems like we should just have electric trams.
So far, the electric has worked out fine. We have no problem with the speaker system, but once we get that figured out, it'll work.
Yeah.
Ms. Gurney?
So you mentioned about possibly serving some of Madison County.
Yes.
Would the grants or any of the money that you apply for, and thank you for doing that. That's, I know, a lot of work, and you seem to keep it steady Eddie, so we appreciate that. Would you get more grants since you're covering a larger area?
Not really. We wouldn't get more of we get more of a grant because we have more expenses. So our reimbursement would be more. Does that make sense?
when you applied, you just applied through the state, or is, I guess, not county per se, right? So like you service Carroll County, if you carry over into Madison County, would there be any funds from Madison County to
No.
help support?
The
Okay.
counties don't support us at all.
Okay, and this is just more of a nosy question.
Okay.
But you said that we see mostly our visitors to our city using the service.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
beyond-
and very
beyond
few
demand.
locals. Like, what are examples of visitors? Just going home at night?
Yeah, we pick up a lot of people after the Passion Play
Okay,
and take them back to the hotel. We
Okay.
take people downtown to, visit the establishments downtown, and 9 or 10 o'clock, we pick them back up, take them to hotels.
and how late do you usually run?
We run that till 11 o'clock.
Wow, okay.
Yes, sir.
I'm thrilled to see the demand response services continuing. Hopefully that will pick up from locals as well. Can you give us a rundown on your pay scale? I know you have a lot of vacancies and stuff. Maybe we could advertise a little bit for you here.
Yeah, we've been working with Michael on that, on a pay scale. We start our employees at $15 an hour and then go up from there. I was just working on that today. The driver's average is $17.92 an hour. That's an average. Our customer service reps who sell tickets and greet people, they're about $17.30 an hour. Of course, our mechanics make around $25 an hour because they're pretty specialized.
Is that 8-hour shifts?
Yeah, the trolleys are 8 hours. Yep.
Yeah.
And driving more of that would be too exhausting on a driver.
Right.
And going back to the, selling the vehicles, when we sell them, they're wore out.
Yeah.
So, because driving 35 miles an hour, 8 hours a day, really wears out an engine. So,
Mr. McClung?
Yeah, just to add on to the last question, on employees for drivers, I know you're in need of them. Don't you assist in getting them qualified, they're trained, and also with their CDL license and that?
yes, we trained a gentleman this year. They have to go first and get their learner's permit. They have to take the written tests. Once they take the written test, they bring us it's a learner's permit, basically. And they have 6 months then to take the driving test with a state trooper. And we train them and we pay them now for that training, so they're not out time and money. So, and we did have one gentleman take advantage of that. We had 2 others who asked about it, but we never saw them again. So
I think that's a good policy to do. That should help, I would think.
I hope it will. Yep.
Hope it does.
Anyone else? Do we have anybody from the public who would like to make any comments? All right, and if there's nothing more from the council, then we can consider the public hearing closed. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. All right, we will continue on with our agenda with the approval of the agenda. Get a motion.
I move we approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
I have one item, and if it meets with concurrence of Ms. Gruning, I'd like to move the Public Works update to up under the rest of the Public Works with the sewer and water at
Fine.
the same time.
Sure.
All right, we'll do that. Anybody else have anything?
Do we need to remove Rochelle's item?
Visioning committee on 7 on unfinished business.
We can, okay. All right, anything else? Okay. We also need to defer the September 22nd meeting, September 22nd meeting minutes to next time. So, all right, anybody else? If there's nothing, I'll take a motion to approve as amended.
Move we approve the agenda as amended.
So, yeah.
Okay, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 All right, next is approval of the minutes for September 8th.
I move we approve the minutes for September 8th.
Second.
All right, any discussion, additions? Hearing none, those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that brings us up to our commission. We've got one vacancy in the CAPC, and also tonight, we also will be asking for a renewal of Dee Bright and Frankie Green on the HDC. Both of them have been on the commissions for several years. So, Mr. McClung?
I'd like to make a motion to reappoint Frank Green.
Second.
All right, any discussion? All in favor of appointing Frank Green back to the HDC, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved.
I move we renew Dee Bright's position on HTC.
Second.
All right, got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor of Dee Bright being reappointed to the HDC, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. All right, at this time, we've got public comments. Please limit your time to 3 minutes.
First up is Ruth.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Ruth Virginia Seymour from 2 Cross Street in Eureka Springs. It has been 3 months to this day, on July 13th, 2025, when Councilman Harry Meyer, 3 Cross Street, feloniously, with intent, backed over me with then delinquent dually steel bed truck in front of Jim Marple's property at 1B Cross Street. The prosecuting attorney is still reviewing this case, to my knowledge. Still, it's so unbelievable that Council Meyer has not been arrested, bonded, charged, or jailed. Which brings me to this evening. Tonight, I wanted to share with you that injury was involved, and I will be having surgery on 11/13/25, 4 months to this day, to stabilize a neck injury he caused in that accident. According to the surgeon, it could have been much worse. I could have been paralyzed. The prosecuting attorney's office has been notified of the surgical information, and hopefully he will use it in his review and take into consideration. Mayor Berry, I would like you to, if you could, make available Harry Meyer's vehicle, medical, and home insurance, applicable by law, information that needed to be exchanged when involved in an accident of this nature. He did not exchange it on that day with me or the police, and I need that information. If you need to contact Chief Floyd and then I can obtain it from him, I would appreciate your assistance in this matter. I will have no further contact with this man. Councilman Harry Meyer, you need to step down, resign. You're toxic to this community. And I don't even know what to say beyond that, other than I will thank David Avanzano and the council people that helped out with my support in this matter. Take responsibility for your actions, my friend. You ask for, apologies, but yet you'd offer none. So I just want you to take responsibility. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
My name is Richard Webb III, former employee of Eureka Springs Hospital, address 204 Huntsville Road, apartment 2, Eureka Springs, Arkansas. I would like this read into official record at the next City Council meeting, 10/13/25. My wife and I, along with countless other former employees of Eureka Springs Hospital, have come before you all asking for justice and accountability. Cynthia Asbury, current CFO, Jody Edmondson, HR Director, and former interim CEO, broke so many state and federal laws and hurt a lot of very good people. My wife and I will never stop until justice and accountability is received on both sides. My wife has developed chronic hives and high blood pressure over all of this. You guys are not gods. You're a bunch of people that sit around plastic tables a couple nights a month and pretend you care when you really don't. And what reality do you really believe that you have people that have broken state and federal labor laws, FOIA laws, and you have had this being told to you all for almost 2 years? This is a city-owned hospital. These are city employees that have been accused of these terrible, heinous crimes, but yet not even the mayor nor the entire city council can do anything. What a complete joke. Why don't you forget about the money for 2 seconds and remember all the people that have come to you and do the right thing? Either that or pack up your lunch boxes and go home. Be leaders and live up to your oaths or quit. The people hurt by these people are still out there, and if you had them all in that auditorium at once, there would be nowhere to sit. This will not be shoved under the rug. Make a choice. We're hoping that there is at least one of you that cares more about us than yourselves, what has destroyed this world in self-entitlement, arrogance, and greed. Is there one of you that are ready to show some integrity and stand up to the obvious wrongdoing here, or is it all about you? Guess we the people will see. Everyone has something to answer to, if no one else, themselves. Thank you.
All right. Anybody else? Any other comment? All right, hearing none, we'll continue on for unfinished business. Get a motion to discuss Public Works updates.
So move.
Second.
All right, Mr. Simon.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. So I'm a little bit different than what we usually do, so I'm going to try to cover a little bit of everything that we do. So I'm going to provide the sewer updates first. Last week we replaced both the lift station pumps at Dairy Hollow Court. We replaced one of the lift station pumps on the sludge building at the wastewater treatment plant. We also had to replace the transducer and controller for that. The motor burned up and it caused an electrical issue in the cabinet. And we also replaced one of the pumps at the wastewater treatment plant office that went out. Today we cleared a overflow that occurred behind Mountain Village. We lost about 5,000 gallons of the sewer out of a manhole there. And last week we replaced one of the motive valves on SBR2. So any questions on sewer updates? No? Okay, so.
I do have one.
Yeah.
Well, with all these pump and motor failures, I just assume it's age or normal wear and tear.
Yeah, it's definitely age related, I think. So like the Dairy Hollow Court lift stations that were in there, they were really old and really crusty, rusty, all the things. So we put 2 new pumps in there. I ordered 4 pumps a month or 2 ago. I don't remember now. And we had standby pumps to go ahead and drop in there, and we were ready to go. And actually, I repurposed one of the pumps to drop in at the office building there at the wastewater plant, because there's not a whole lot of flow coming out of there, so we don't need to put $10,000 pumps in there. We stuck a $2,000 pump in there to get it going. But yeah, it's mostly just age related, you know, and you know, we Public Works, we need to do a little bit better by pulling the pumps out and, you know, checking them out on a regular basis. So that's something that we're looking at, is trying to get a schedule that we could get somebody to do a rotation and pull pumps and look at them.
Ms. Gooney?
So you mentioned about cleaning out sewers, right?
No. But go ahead.
So what I'm getting at is there's a lot of different locations with sewers. How do you just have a maintenance schedule that you follow to do that?
No, we don't have one yet. So we do have our maps and stuff in the GIS program, of course. And, you know, that's something that we'll get on a rotation as well. We have a camera system now. We have that jetter trailer. So we'll start jetting out sewer lines and cameraing them. I was shorthanded for a while. I'm back up. I'm 1 shy right now. But, you know, we're building up our crews too, and you see that in the street side of things especially. But we're able to do a little bit more. So we're just trying to evolve a little bit and get a little bit more modernized and a little bit more proactive on some of these activities.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, any other questions?
All right, so for streets, and you guys notice that we're painting a lot. So we've got Owen painted, Upper Mountain painted, We repainted the parking lot at the PD, the courthouse, the transit lots, and the Magnetic Spring parking area, and we did Magnetic today, a new yellow line down Magnetic. We got a little bit more that we need to do. We just kind of ran out of paint, so we had to stop for the day. We're replacing a section of curb and sidewalk by the museum on South Main. That'll happen here pretty soon. The water's pipe running over the sidewalk. It wasn't constructed with a correct grade to drain it towards the street, and it's going over that sidewalk, and we're going to replace some sections of that sidewalk. We're replacing a section of sidewalk out here by the auditorium bathroom. We had some falls that had occurred out there, so when we do the sidewalk by the museum, we'll be replacing a couple of panels right there in front of the bathroom. And then you'll see some new railing going up over at Douglas and Armstrong, where there's a little funky island in there, and it's kind of hard to see. We're going to put a rail up around that. And we're also getting ready to do some drainage improvements along Douglas and Armstrong, both. So that's about all I have to report on streets. Yes, sir.
Any news on the roundabout?
Yeah. So they came out, and I believe, the best of my recollection, I think they were planning on starting at the end of 26. Was that correct, Mayor? I think that's what I remember is the end of 26 or.
They're going to start in 26. I don't think they've even started. They've started doing the appraisals. I don't know if they've completed all the appraisals on the right-of-way yet or not.
They've not executed any purchases yet then, as far as you know, anything like that?
No, but I think they've made some offers. They've got some offers in. Now, whether or not they've been completed, I don't know.
So they probably have already done their appraisals?
Most of them, yeah.
Well, they did more surveying, right?
But they did a shift on the right-of-way, on the way that where the roundabout's going to go. They shifted it a little bit.
Yeah.
And, so they changed up a few things. They're at 100% on the plans. So we're right now what we're working on is coming up with a plan to relocate our water and sewer lines. So that's kind of the area that we're hitting as far as public works goes.
Yeah, that's one of the first things that has to be done, is,
Yeah.
of course, is to relocate the utilities.
Yeah. So we're
physically.
just waiting for them to say, hey, we got all our stuff. You all go ahead, next, because what we're going to try to do is slide in as fast as we can to get it right next to the right of way so everybody else can work around us.
And all those locations for those lines, that's all laid out in the diagrams and all already, correct?
No.
No?
I think they might be noted on there to some extent on their survey, but they're not necessarily a part of the plans. That's going to be more on the city to have to deal with that.
So the city needs to engineer that part, is that correct?
Yeah, we're doing that. We've hired Philip Lewis Engineering. They're redesigning that. We've just been waiting on RDOT to come up with their corrected right of way so we can properly plan on that.
Right, okay.
Yep.
Yeah,
Once
that's going to take
RDOT
time.
had signed off and said this is the final plan and everything, then we'll have the engineer go in and do the engineering for the relocation of the water and sewer, the utilities. Otherwise, we'll just be wasting money.
Yeah,
Right.
okay.
Yeah,
We're still out of ways.
yeah. So,
Is there a rendering or anything that you can share, that we can share with our,
Yes, I do have the PDF of the proposed plans.
there should be one on the website, I would think, isn't there?
Maybe what I could do is take one of that PDF of the the layout of it, maybe convert it over to a picture and share it on my Facebook.
that would be great.
Would that be all right?
Yes.
Okay, I'll work on that tomorrow.
If this is new and
Like recent.
more current, I guess, I don't know if it's changes from when they were here
Yes.
at the church.
Yes.
So there's been some changes
There's
since
been
then.
a few changes, yeah.
Yeah, okay, so that's good, yeah.
Yep. So,
Thank you.
any other street questions? No? Okay, so I'll move on to water then. The good news is no leaks. That's pretty good. So since we haven't had any leaks in a little while, my crew has been really hitting these old meters up pretty hard. And, we were sitting at 60 or 70 for quite a while. I think we're down to approximately 35 left to do right now. So they've been hitting it pretty hard. doing a great job getting those replaced. We do have an issue with the water meter in our reading software. They updated some of the meters that we buy to what's called the iPearl Plus, and our laptop won't communicate with them. So by the end of the week, they're buying us a new laptop and delivering it on Thursday, so we'll be able to get a read. We're going to do remote reads on those few that we have for the time being, but next month we'll be able to pull out and start doing auto reads on everything. I don't know how many iPearl Pluses that we have in the city, but we have a handful of them. But it's just the issue that we've been working through and getting taken care of. Technology changes. It's like your computer. You buy a computer, it just doesn't stay good forever, and that's just where we're at right now.
So what's the water loss now?
We're still in the 30s, so we're doing pretty good on that.
We're doing well.
Yeah.
We're doing well.
Screening?
What is your Facebook page called? Because I went out and looked for it, and I couldn't find it.
City of Eureka Springs Public Works.
Okay. And then for anybody else that does use Facebook that wants to look? Oh, okay. Thank you.
Any other questions? Water and sewer, streets.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Simon.
Thank you, Simon.
All right, our next item will be unfinished business is ambulance rate increase for third reading. Get a motion to...
So move.
Second.
All right, we're on, I believe, our third reading for the ordinance amending the emergency medical service fees, ordinance 2372. Mr. Meyer?
Mr. Mayor, I move that we suspend the rules and read ordinance 2372 by title only for its third reading.
Okay. Do I hear a second?
Second.
All right, Mr. Meyer made the motion to place this ambulance rate increase on third reading by title only. Mr. McClung seconded. Further discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Terry McClung,
Yes.
Harry Meyer,
Yes.
David Avanzino,
Yes.
Steve Holofield,
Yes.
Susan Grunning.
Yes.
Ordinance number 2372, an ordinance amending section 2.44.09A, 090A regarding emergency medical services fees.
All right, can I get a motion to approve? Go ahead. Mr.
I
Meyer.
make motion to approve ordinance number 2372 on its third and final reading.
Second.
All right, Mr. Meyer made the motion. Mr. Avanzino seconded. Any further discussion? All right, roll call.
Steve Holofield,
Yes.
Terry McClung,
Yes.
David Avanzino,
Yes.
Susan Grunning,
Yes.
Harry Meyer.
Yes.
All right, thank you all. Will go into effect in 30 days after we get it signed. All right, next item on our unfinished business is ordinance vacating section of Alpena Avenue for its third reading.
Motion to discuss.
Second.
Okay, got a motion, and
I'd like to make the motion that we suspend the rules and read ordinance number 2373 by title only for its third and final reading.
Second.
get a second?
Second.
All right, Mr. McClung made the motion to suspend the rules and place ordinance 2373 on third and final reading by title only. Mr. Avanzino seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, a roll call.
Susan Grunning,
Yes.
David Avanzino,
Yes.
Harry Meyer,
Yes.
Terry McClung,
Yes.
Steve Holofield.
Yes.
Ordinance number 2373, an ordinance vacating a portion of Alpena Avenue between Block 38, Lot 1 and Block 33, Lot 4 of the Freeman Edition.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion, we go ahead and approve this ordinance on its third reading.
Second.
All right, Mr. McClung made the motion to approve this ordinance on third reading. Mr. Avanzino seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Steve Holofield,
Yes.
Terry McClung,
Yes.
Susan Gruding,
Yes.
David Avanzino,
Yes.
Harry Meyer.
Yes.
All right. That brings us up to our next item, ordinance vacating section of Lone Street for the third reading. Mr. Meyer.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to suspend the rules and read ordinance number 2374 by title only.
Second.
All right, Mr. Meyer made the motion to suspend the rules and place read ordinance 2374 by title only. Ms. Gruning seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Harry Meyer,
Yes.
David Avanzino,
Yes.
Steve Holofield,
Yes.
Susan Gruning,
Yes.
Terry McClung.
Yes.
Ordinance number 2374, an ordinance vacating a portion of Lone Street between Block 2A and Block 3 of the Riley and Armstrong survey.
All right, get a motion to approve.
Move that we approve ordinance 2374 on its third and final reading.
Second.
All right, Mr. Meyer made the motion to approve 2374 on third and final reading. Ms. Gruning seconded. Any comments? Hearing none, roll call.
David Avanzino,
Yes.
Steve Holofield,
Yes.
Harry Meyer,
Yes.
Susan Gruding,
Yes.
Terry McClung.
Yes.
Then that brings us up to item number 5, ordinance vacating section of unnamed alley, ordinance number 2375, third reading. Mr. Meyer.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to move to suspend the rules and read ordinance number 2375 by title only for its third and final reading.
Second.
All right, Mr. Meyer made the motion to suspend the rules and read ordinance 2375 by title only. Mr. McClung seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Terry McClung,
Yes.
Harry Meyer,
Yes.
David Avanzino,
Yes.
Steve Holofield,
Yes.
Susan Gruning.
Yes.
Ordinance number 2375, an ordinance vacating a portion of an unnamed alley between Block 2A, lots 3 through 5, and lots 18 through 21 of the Riley and Armstrong survey.
Mr. Mayor, a motion to approve ordinance 2375 on its third and final reading.
Second.
All right, Mr. Meyer made the motion and Mr. Avanzino seconded to approve ordinance 2375 on third and final reading. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Steve Holofield,
Yes.
Terry McClung,
Yes.
David Avanzino,
Yes.
Susan Gruning,
Yes.
Harry Meyer.
Yes.
All right. Brings us up to unfinished business item number 6, ordinance to remove water infrastructure improvement charges.
Motion to discuss.
Second.
All right, Mr. McClung.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to go ahead and assign this ordinance a number and put it up for the first reading.
Second. By title.
Let me check that. I'd like to assign this ordinance a number and put it up for first reading by title only by suspending the rules.
Second.
All right, Mr. McClung made the motion to assign this a number, suspend the rules, and read by title only. And Mr. Almazzino, seconded. Discussion?
Yes. Go ahead, Steve.
I know you talked about this a little bit, Terry. Can you explain again what this is?
Yeah, that's just exactly what we want to do. This is ordinance to repeal the infrastructure and improvements charge that is on our water bills now, which is on the minimum is $5, and then the next level is 10, and then the 50 for the large consumers. And so that will be probably effective even if we do 3 readings and don't do the emergency clause. It won't take effect until what?
30 days.
December, probably.
Yeah.
November.
So what was the purpose of this to begin with?
It's to remove, because we're raising the rates.
No, I mean, what was the purpose of this being on the bill to start with? The improvements?
Yes, this was infrastructure, strictly for infrastructure repairs, improvements, couldn't be used for anything else.
You don't think we need that anymore?
Well, with what we're doing, the way we've looked at it, and the charges have all been calculated, all that has been figured into the rate increases that we're imposing.
So it's redundant, you think?
Pardon me?
You think it's redundant then?
Yes, I think it's an overcharge.
Mr. Meyer?
Its usefulness is over because we have enough in our water bill to cover those infrastructure improvements. And there's no sense in milking the citizens any more than what we have to.
Actually, and if I can interject on that, part of it was when we tried to pass a tax to raise a 1-cent sales tax for water and sewer, and it failed. Then we decided that we needed to do something, so we decided to do the infrastructure in place of the sales tax at that point. We are still looking at trying to do something with our sales tax. And actually, and it's just my opinion, I think this is a great incentive for people to realize that if we don't pass the sales tax, we're going to be right back where we were. Even though we do have money raising our water rates, we still need more improvements than what we've got. So I'm not sure about this ordinance. Mr. Meyer?
The I&I paid off 2 bonds on the water and sewer department.
No, it did not.
That's what Lonnie told me.
Now, it couldn't because it was strictly for capital improvement. Now, we made extra money.
The bonds were to pay for capital improvements.
No, we didn't.
Well, then where did the money come from to pay off those bonds early?
We couldn't use the I&I money except for capital improvement.
Where did the money come from to pay for those 2 bonds?
It came out of the capital, but it wasn't out of the I&I fund. Not Lonnie.
Because it was,
Michael.
From what I remember, it was being paid for our water bills.
No. The I&I fee was strictly for improvements on the capital.
The I&I fee was only for infrastructure improvement. You cannot use it to pay back the bonds. The bonds were paid out of money that we had from the water department, from the city, from those different things, from the sales tax. The one that we have now is currently paid through the sales tax. So no, we did not use any I&I funds to do this. Now, one thing to keep in mind, with Act 605, we are still going to have this. We're just going to have to do it differently as a replenishment and replacement account, where we're going to have to take a percentage of what they pay and put it into a side account. It's a lot even more stricter than the I&I was. What we'll have to do is, once that money goes into that account, anything that we deem that we want to use it for will have to be brought to City Council and has to be approved by City Council for us to pay for anything out of that repair and replacement account. I think his name is I&I. So.
All right.
Mr. McClung?
Doesn't have to be approved by ordinance, it could just be by a majority vote,
So what they say in there is,
unless a dollar amount.
yeah, it doesn't have a dollar amount. It says it has to be, oh yeah, I'm sorry, it does, over $1,000, has to be over $1,000. But it's, they call it the water board approval, and in the way ours is set up, y'all are considered the water board approval. So
Right.
it does have to go before the board, but I don't think it's by ordinance. I think it's just by your vote to spend the money on that item. But yeah, but no, we didn't use any I&I funds to pay for back the bonds.
Okay.
Yep.
Mr. McClung?
Mr. Mayor, yeah, that was all on the front end, and that's why this discussion came up about removing the I&I fund, because a percentage of that has to come out of the other. Now, you're correct on the need for the sales tax for infrastructure. I agree with you 100% on that. And the committee, what happened to us? We haven't met in a long time, but that's...
The committee, we haven't met, but the last time we talked to them, we were still debating on the sales tax percentage that we're going to be presenting and how, whether or not it was going to be a special election or we're going to wait on that. So we got another meeting coming up before we make the final presentation to the city council.
Yeah, has that meeting been scheduled?
But during that conversation, we talked about the incentives for people to vote for the sales tax by removing this I&I fee. Now there isn't any reason for them to vote for it.
Pardon me?
There isn't any reason to vote. There's no incentive to vote for a sales tax.
What do you mean there's no incentive?
No incentive.
We don't have the money to fix everything. Of course there is.
There wasn't an incentive nobody voted the last time and it failed miserably and we needed the money. And so we came back with the I&I fund. That's how we developed the I&I on there, because the sales tax didn't pass.
That's correct.
And it may not pass this time. We don't know. And what I suggest is we wait until we see what happens with the sales tax before we remove the I&I fee. It's not that big a dollar amount, and it's a good incentive for people if it fails.
I understand your opinion there. I also think it's a goodwill gesture on our part to eliminate it and show them that's what we're trying to do, and that yes, we do need to push the 1 cent sales tax, and we need to educate the public on that need and the necessity for it. But yes, I think that's an absolute.
Ms. Greening?
So I'm a what-if person. What if the tax is voted down again? Would we implement this again?
Good.
Can't.
You can't.
Because of the way, we can't implement it like this,
So
like it was, as I believe Michael just told us, we have to do it differently, so.
with the
No.
I&I fund, but we have it here right now. We're trying to eliminate it, right?
We do not have to do it through those payments that are coming in through the actual payment for the water. We actually just have to set aside the account and put the money in it, whether we do it through an I&I charge or whether we take it as a percentage of what they're paying for the water and sewer. So like right now, if you pay a $100 bill, then 5% of that is going to go into this. If you take away the I&I, then that's going to go into the repair and replacement fund. So it's going to lower the amount of money that's going to be brought into the water department for their daily operations.
So it doesn't lower the amount on the bill then?
No. Well, it will, yes, because the way your bill right now is we charge you $100 for your water, and then we charge you an I&I fee on top of that. So we charge you whatever, based upon how many gallons you took. So when you take away the I&I fee, that we're still required to have, as a city, have that repair and replacement account. So now what we're going to have to do is, instead of taking that I&I fee that's in there, we're going to have to take it out of that payment, and then that lowers what's actually going to go into our daily operations.
Mr. McClung?
Mr. Mayor, that is not how this was explained to us on the get-go at all. It was explained to us first of all, that
No, I'm not sure what it is that you're referring to.
what he just said, the fact that the I&I fund would go away because it's going to be coming out of the water bills. That's an automatic. They're going to be double dipping if we keep the I&I fund.
No.
That's the way it was explained on the get-go to us,
not.
right here at
Maybe,
this table.
maybe that's the way you
Well,
understood
that's
it.
exactly what it is.
Huh?
That's not the way,
Oh, yes, it was.
who
We
explained
asked
it?
if there was sufficient funds, now that we've raised the rates and we're going to be raising them again, that there will be sufficient income in the water department that we can eliminate this.
I don't know whether he ever, you're talking about
I never said that.
you're talking about the gentleman who made the proposal and did the water rate study?
Him and Simon.
I don't know about that. Ms. Gruning?
So if we eliminate this, and even though our rates have gone up, are we able to take any of the monies from the increase of rates and put it in infrastructure or no?
Okay, so,
But
It's
yes or
required
no?
by law.
what?
Was that a yes or no?
Well, it's kind of a understanding of it. So when you have a bill now, okay, you're charged for your water, you're charged for your sewer, and you're charged for the clean water fee and some other things, okay? And then the I&I is put on there. So when they make that payment, the amount of the I&I goes into I&I, and the rest of the money actually goes to pay for the water and the sewer and that kind of stuff.
Correct.
Okay. So now, if you take the I&I out of there, when you make a payment, which once again, you're being billed for your water and for your sewer and for the other fees that are in there. When you make that payment now with the I&I gone, we still have to put a percentage of it to the side. So since we're not putting the I&I to the side anymore, now we have to take it out of the payment that's coming in
So
for the
we're
total
not
payment.
double dipping, we're just losing another resource that we were collecting to try to get ahead with the sewer issues that we have, the
Right,
water
and you're
sewer.
talking about $240,000 a year. That's what I&I brings in, 220 to 240.
So not much, really.
And it's the more you use, the more the I&I fee is based
So-
upon the size.
With the I&I, with this 240 that we can bank away, is this only used for water, or is it public works? Where exactly can you use this money?
We charge it based upon water because it's based upon water usage. So we redid that whenever Lonnie originally set it up. He set it up where it was paid through water, and half of it went to water and half of it went to sewer. We changed that. Terry asked us to change that, so we changed that to where it comes in through water, and it is only billed through water. It has nothing to do with sewer. It's just
However,
Okay, I understand that.
we do spend it on water and sewer
Yes.
infrastructure.
Yes.
In other words, the sewer plant, water lines, any of the capital for water and sewer.
Okay, so it can be used for both.
So if you
Can
look
be
in your
used for-
budget, you'll see
Yes.
$240,000 coming into water for I&I, but then you'll see in your expenses under 21 and 22, you'll see $120,000 for water and $120,000 for sewer, where we split it up so we can use it in.
Okay,
But it cannot be used for salaries, wages,
correct.
streets,
Can be used for
water,
streets.
only water and sewer.
Right.
So in Simon's budget, if there were issues with water, right now, as it stands, without the I&I, he would have to pull maybe from streets or somewhere else to help.
Can't get it from
do that.
streets. That's an
Okay, so streets
enterprise.
is totally on its own, okay.
Streets is on its own, water's on its own. Water and sewer on their enterprise
Okay.
funds.
So water and
you
sewer-
can't commingle,
Okay.
even though they're under the Public Works umbrella.
Okay.
They're different departments and you can't commingle the
Okay.
funds. So,
What happens is we end up loaning the water and sewer department money, public works money,
So,
from our general funds.
so my question again is, if the vote for the one, because this is, I guess, what we're planning on doing, Terry, is implementing or putting out on the table a 1% tax increase to be voted on?
No, that hasn't been determined yet, but hopefully that's what will happen.
And
1%, half
then
percent,
hopefully-
three-quarters, whatever.
Right.
hopefully citizens will want to do that. And if they don't, is my question. See, that's an unknown to me. I'm the what-if person. What if they don't?
Crystal ball.
Yeah, right?
And that is my hesitation on passing something like this at this point. I want to see the sales tax pass, and then as a promise of removing this I&I, because then there's no need for it.
Is there
That's
a
the
way?
reason for it to begin with.
Is there a way to show our constituents that if you agree to the 1% tax rate, you still save a little money as opposed to what you pay on the I&I?
If you had the sales tax, then yes, because you would have that sales tax money. Because, okay, what a sales tax would lead to is a bond. And so then your sales tax money would be going to pay that bond, depending upon how much the sales tax was, how much it's going to generate, how many years you're going to do it. And so we would then have to go back and do another rate study once the sales tax passed to see if we could get off of the schedule that we're on right now as far as raising rates and stuff. But with having that bond and that large amounting from that bond, then you would be able to do away with I&I without any problem.
I get that part, but what I'm saying is, like, for the typical user, like I get my water bill, and this is what I think a lot of folks will look at. Well, why does it matter to me besides being able to get clean water to my home? But bills have to be paid. So will I be better off by saying, I still want to go with the I&I, or will I be better off, we eliminate this from our water bill and I pay a 1% tax?
The argument being that, and COVID brought this up very succinctly, I believe, when we realized we had a tax revenue of over 45% loss in tax revenue because of COVID. So our business is driven on tourism. Tourism is paying, and I don't know, but I'm saying 90% of our sales tax. So tourism is paying the sales tax at 1 cent, if we go with 1 cent, as opposed to, and that was the sad part, because they were going to pay for that 1 cent sales tax. When we didn't do that, then it became the citizens having to pay for it. Now, if we pass this, then we can get it taken back off the citizens again.
Valid point.
That was the argument, and I think it is still valid.
I think whatever, I mean, to me, it just makes common sense to try and push forward with the 1 cent tax. However, with that being said, it also needs to be a massive information and education program, not just town halls, not just open forum meetings like this, these included, of course, but direct mail, door to door, because we've seen it happen in the city before, especially in the past 5 years. People don't really know what's going on until you send them this stuff in the mail. What will 1 cent tax increase do for the city?
Well, unfortunately, we can't spend money on those type of issues. The city can't.
Well, we have the Chamber of Commerce.
No, I'm not disagreeing. I'm just saying, as far as the city goes.
Yeah, I understand.
I totally agree. It's a matter of education, and that's one of the things this committee came up with. It's absolutely educating the people and the public on the benefits and why it should be passed. So, Mr. McClung.
Mr. Mayor, back when we did the I&I ordinance, I was the biggest supporter of it because I understand the need on the infrastructure. I was the biggest supporter of the sales tax that failed. And I wouldn't have asked to remove this if it hadn't been explained that we couldn't do both. That's the way it was explained to us, and that's why
I believe he's right.
This ordinance was requested. That's the whole purpose.
Ms. Green.
Do we want to maybe table this and get a little more
If you want
information?
to
I don't
table it,
need any
you can
more
table it.
information.
I
mean,
don't
that's-
either.
So what are you asking, what
Well,
are you saying, Terry?
I'm still of the mind that to throw the city a bone and remove it, the taxpayers in the town, and go ahead and remove it and then push forward with a sales tax. That's my opinion.
It's up to the council which way, what y'all want to do.
Well, there's been a motion, it's been seconded, so.
Any further discussion? All right, let's do a roll call.
Can you repeat the motion, please?
Assign this ordinance a number and put it
Oh, gotcha.
on its first reading.
No, to
Suspend the rules and by
suspend the
title only.
rules and read by title only. Yeah. So, there, Ms. Gruning, you have one more question?
Yeah, I'm sorry. So if we assign the number, does that mean we're voting on it, or we're just signing?
We'll be voting on this, the first reading.
I'm sorry?
We will be voting on the first reading.
Well, your initial
We have
vote
to go
is to
through
suspend
three.
the rules.
Yes. Your initial vote is to suspend the rules, but to assign a number and suspend the rules and place it on the first reading.
Yes.
And then the second one would be to read
I
it
just wanted
for
to be
passage.
clear.
Ultimately, it's be for passage.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, everybody understand what the motion is? Okay, roll call.
Susan Gruning,
Yes.
David Avanzino,
Yes.
Harry Meyer,
Yes.
Terry McClung,
Yes?
Steve Holofield.
No.
Assigning ordinance number 2376, an ordinance to repeal section 10.44.060, infrastructure and improvements charges.
Sorry, what's the number again?
2376.
Thank you.
Mr. McClung?
Wait, that didn't pass.
Mr. Mayor,
It
I'd
had
like
four,
to,
didn't it?
You need 5.
No, we need four.
To suspend the rules, you need 2/3.
That's four. Two-thirds of six is four.
Okay, I did 7. Sorry, my bad. Okay, you're right. You're right. Sorry, I did 7. You're right.
That's
I was
quite all
thinking- I had 7 in my head. Okay, you're right.
okay.
Sorry.
That's all
False
right.
alarm.
I don't know if we could get
Okay, Mr. McClung?
I'd like to make a motion that we approve ordinance number 2376 on its first reading.
second.
All right, Mr. McClung made a motion to approve it, ordinance 2376 on its first reading, and Mr. Myers seconded. Ms. Gruning, did you have a question earlier?
I don't think so now.
Okay. All right, roll call.
Steve Holofield,
No.
Terry McClung,
Yes?
Susan Gruning,
No.
Harry Meyer,
Yes.
David Avanzino.
No.
Failed, 2 yeses, 3 noes.
Motion fails. All right. All right, our next item of business is motion to discuss Queen Anne purchase.
Motion to discuss.
Queen Anne purchase of 1.9 acres, I'm sorry.
Second.
In your packet, I've been approached by the owners of Queen Anne. Everybody's familiar with the Queen Anne up top of Planter Hill. And there's a survey that included in here. They are wanting to, the city owns 1.9 acres that adjoins the
Mayor, I don't
landmark
think we
property.
have
We
any of
don't
that.
have it.
I didn't receive any documents for this
We don't
agenda
have
item.
any documents for that.
All right, never mind. Let's make a motion to defer until,
Motion to defer.
table
Queen
it
Anne.
to the next meeting. Yeah.
Motion to defer.
Well, I'll go ahead and discuss, I'll let you know what's going on anyway. No, let's go ahead and defer it, and it'll just be in your packet. So, sorry. All right, get a motion to discuss sidewalks.
Motion to discuss sidewalks.
Second.
All right, Ms. Greeny?
I know this is the elephant in the room or the elephant in the city. We have a lot of issues with our sidewalks. It's been brought up in different organizations, like the grant meeting that I had with Main Street. It was brought up by somebody else in the vision workshop that we had with planning. So people talk about it, but we don't do anything. And I realize this is probably a planning responsibility. I get that. But I want to ask my fellow council members here, do we all agree sidewalks are an issue or no? Yes, no?
Of course they are.
Of course, they're an issue.
Okay.
Especially where I live, because we don't have any. Not one.
Okay,
The
so,
largest section of the city
But you
has
walk the city,
no
right?
sidewalks.
okay. Do you guys,
Yeah,
Oh, I completely agree with you, yeah.
okay.
I brought it up before.
So, and I don't have all the answers tonight, but I know that around, I think 2010, I believe, was it, that we turned the sidewalks over to, trying to find my notes here, that the sidewalks were turned over to the property owners. Is that correct? 2013, maybe?
We have a copy of the ordinance. In your packet, there's a copy of the ordinance, the sidewalk ordinance.
I don't think it has it in there, though, Harry.
Well,
When-
that's
when
the
it
ordinance.
was- When it was turned over to,
Property owners.
It's in the ordinance
I heard you, thank you.
that
Let me see here.
the property owners are responsible for maintaining their sidewalk, I believe.
Okay, so nonetheless, I think it's been about 13 years, something like that, 15 years. Some of the property owners here have had their properties longer than that amount of time. So when we handed this responsibility back to them, I don't think that they were handed it back with fixed sidewalks. And I'm not saying it's our fault, their fault. I'm just saying that nobody wants to address it. We also have in the ordinance, and this is where we may need some legal counsel, it's in the ordinance that the city, there's a safety team that goes around, it's 9.08.070, that it is a sidewalk safety team comprised of personnel from the Building and Public Works Departments shall be responsible for evaluating public sidewalk safety and ADA compliance. So from what I understand with the state of Arkansas is that if we do not go out and let homeowners know and that their sidewalks are unsafe, our city can also be held liable according to the state of Arkansas. And that, I think it's the Arkansas Premises Liability Law, if I read my info correctly. So that means somebody that may fall, and it only takes one incident to be, it's risk, right? We all know what risk is. It only takes one time to really be devastating. So not only can they sue the homeowner, they can sue the city for not having deemed and acknowledging to the property owner. And then what that means here, according to our ordinance, that doesn't, in my opinion, seem to be enforced, is that we then give them so much time, X amount of time, to fix their sidewalks. If they don't, it could come back on us. I know this has all been said before. I know that it would take money on the part of the city to do some of this, and then you put a lien on the house. I'm not saying that that is necessarily the only way to help some of our homeowners. I think we could look into grants, or maybe we come up with, we powwow with some other people and come up with a workshop to have some ideas to put together a plan to maybe help. And this isn't going to we're not going to do it all at once. It's going to take years, I get that. But I think we need to start somewhere to start correcting some of these things. Some of these limestone sidewalks, like in front of maybe the New Orleans, can be scored. They don't necessarily need to be replaced. Some limestones can be flipped. You're an architect, you'd probably know more about this than me. Some of the sidewalks can be concrete, some can be stamped. Maybe we have like a little, I think it's in Fort Worth, they have a little lottery system where people put their name in the hat and X amount of people a year get chosen. I know when coming from Wichita, we were responsible for our sidewalks, and we had the option, when they came by and they put an X, we had the option of putting it in our taxes, and then the city going around and they do X amount of sidewalks where you get a better deal because you're, hopefully have somebody that you can contract with, or you could do it yourself. And as long as it passed inspection, it was okay. I'm not looking for answers, I'm just looking for support to say, hey, I agree, maybe we need to start looking at something to help the citizens. Planning, so yeah, I'm done.
Mr. Mayor?
Mr. Mayor, I think that our whole sidewalk ordinance needs to be revamped because it's not working. This has been in place for several years, and there's several sidewalks in town that you can't walk on. People have to walk in the street. So enforcement is not happening because of lawsuits, because, I suggested one time when we met that, well, perhaps when someone sells their house, they have to repair the sidewalk in front of it before the deal closes, or put the money to the side for that sidewalk to be repaired within a certain amount of time. Because people would just thumb their nose at you when you go up and say, hey, we got an ordinance, you've got to maintain that sidewalk. And then, the section here where the largest portion of town, well, we just have to build our own sidewalks. Well, that takes engineering. If I build a little sidewalk on my street, there's one in front of one of the houses, I'm sure they built their sidewalk because it said in the order. There's a little sidewalk about 18 inches wide, and it goes in front of their house, and that's it. Now, if I build one that's this wide, it's got to be coordinated. It can't be done by individuals. Ward 3 is the largest ward if you don't include Leatherwood Park. Ward 3 has the least amount of sidewalks. In fact, except for the east side of Main Street from the Cat House to Flint Street, there are very few sidewalks. In fact, the only sidewalk in the residential streets is that short sidewalk the city built on Flint Street when they repaired the wall and kept the street from collapsing. And it starts partway up the street and abruptly ends. Enforcement becomes difficult now that the ordinance has been ignored for so long. There's been new subdivisions put in, and they didn't put sidewalks in, so obviously they're not going to pay any attention to building a sidewalk. And it's gotten to be, I think that, a few years ago I asked about a sidewalk on East Mountain, and Mayor, you even said that, okay, you're going to look into that. Of course, we've changed public works people, but it will come out of the streets department, and they got $900,000 in the bank, so I'm sure that the streets can pave one sidewalk at least. That's the way I look at it.
Let me address a couple of things. Is Paul here? We do have, in our last building, well, 2 building inspectors back, we've gone through and did a survey of all the sidewalks in town, listing the ones that were most critical in needs of work. then the instructions for the building inspector was anytime projects in the historic district where there's sidewalks are being done, the sidewalks are to be included within that work. Now, since then, we haven't really gone back, and I don't know if what Paul's been pretty busy lately on that. Regarding subdivision, sidewalks, no subdivision, that's because the sidewalks aren't mentioned in the subdivision or the planning commission would have recruited.
That's true. They're not.
So it's not anybody's fault.
They're not mentioned in
nobody's
this
fault
ordinance
except
either.
that it wasn't mentioned in the subdivision ordinance. That's our fault or the planning commission. So we are trying to address this. And I don't know if Paul's probably had a chance to go through and look at the sidewalks. I know but it's on his list, but I don't know whether it's up there on the priorities again.
Yeah, it is pretty much a priority, but sometimes whenever you go talk to people and ask them about that, they decide not to do their remodel because of the fact we want them to do the sidewalks. But so you kind of like to say, okay, let's put that in the plan in the future so they can keep on moving along with their plans. But it is important to me as the sidewalks. But to answer your question is how do we get there? We have a lot of problems with sidewalks.
So.
I didn't hear that last part.
To answer your question, we do have a lot of problems with sidewalks. And I mean, do you want to start enforcing all the sidewalks? I think it's just, you're talking about a lot of money.
Just, I think, David?
First of all, Heather, a question for you. Is the city liable, like Ms. Gruning stated? We turn the sidewalks over to the property owner, something happens, they can be held liable and the city can be held liable?
The city has tort immunity, so no.
So we are not liable?
No.
Okay. My second question.
It doesn't mean you can't get sued.
Right.
Right, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Do anybody for anything.
Yeah. I guess my second question is,
Yeah, anything.
and I haven't seen this, is why aren't we holding property owners and business owners accountable like we said we were?
Well, if you're asking me, that question is because
You're the one standing there. I don't mean it's
Yeah,
not directed
yeah.
at you, but
mostly, like I say, we talk about what we do is we tell them, let's put that in the plans. That needs to be addressed. The problem of it is, if you go back and if you look all downtown, you're talking about sidewalks. I have not put a number to it. I want to put a number to it, but I believe you're talking about in the millions, probably.
Absolutely.
so when you say millions, you mean as the whole project being completed? I'm talking about, let's say business A has 20 linear feet of sidewalk. So they're responsible for 20 feet. That is, I have no idea what it costs, but roundabout, would you know?
Well, if you're talking about, let's just say if you have a 5-foot sidewalk, 20 feet long, 200 square feet times 10, you're talking about $2,000.
Okay.
Have you found any references on our priorities of the sidewalks? Because we did have them listed, bad, good, and needing repairs.
I have not found that list, Mayor.
Okay.
Keep in mind, too, and it goes along with the vacant buildings, and I don't want to just go into something else, but keep in mind, I only have like 6 or 7 contractors that are licensed in the city of Eureka Springs and probably most of them would not do sidewalks. So we're trying to get more people licensed, and as that goes along, it'll be the same thing as vacant buildings, is we'll have a lot more contractors to choose from.
And just so we're clear, I appreciate the work you do.
Yeah.
It is a thankless job.
Yeah.
And even though you're standing there, my question was just in general.
No, that's fine.
Ms. Rooney?
And thankful as well, because I think what you do is you keep our city safe. You make sure that we're not going to have more buildings burning down. I know that we're addressing abandoned buildings and we're making sure that our homes are a safe place to live, and I appreciate that. But what we have to be careful of is not putting up the roadblocks, because we're here now bringing it up. And so I get that. I like that you made the statement that we don't have anybody that really wants to do sidewalks, but you're looking at a solution already by getting more people qualified to be able to do sidewalks here. So that's great. And then as a homeowner, if you had a 20-foot sidewalk by 5-foot and it's $2,000, for some people that have large properties, it's going to cost more money. But if we tackle the smaller ones first, at least we start. Just an observation I had walking to Inn at the Ozarks for soup and salad today, I noticed in front of 2 different properties, the water seal thing, I guess it's where you get into the water, all the concrete around it busted. I don't know if the city's responsible for replacing the sidewalk in front of a homeowner's, if they damaged it. In front of Ojo, I see a bunch of gravel because the gas company came in and never replaced the concrete. And then we have homeowners that have owned their homes for many years and said, well, when the city gave it back, I got it back this way, but it's still their home, so they're still responsible. Back to legal, so when David asked a question, can the city be sued? So are you saying the Arkansas premise liability law is not applicable?
No, because the state of Arkansas is a municipality, a subdivision of the state. You have tort immunity. That's a separate statute.
Okay.
That would apply to the homeowners.
Sure.
Yeah, but
and then, so in the grant meeting, we have other issues aside from inspection, trees. Some people don't want trees removed, and I don't blame them. That's, we live around trees. I love that. But it has to be what makes sense, too. And I did have a list of potential ideas we could start with. I don't want to go through it this evening, but I will print it out maybe if we can continue next week, in 2 weeks.
What I would suggest, Susan, remember this body is a legislative body. So if you've got issues that are legislative, look at drafting up or needing help in drafting up something. Talk to me, give me a call, and we'll see about drafting up something that can do. I think you have some good ideas. But when we're into, and I don't know about funding, about taxes, that's something we can talk to the city attorney to see how that can work out. I'm going to be presenting to the council an ordinance here on a volunteer millage for the cemetery soon. And so, there may be something else that can be done. But a lot of that has to be voted on also by the public when you do that.
Correct. But we need something substantial to vote on.
Yeah.
A solution.
Mr. Meyer?
My question for the attorney is, what can we do to put teeth in the ordinance?
well, it has enforcement, right? You can.
Okay, say Joe Blow on Elk Street won't repair their sidewalk even though our good inspector went
You
and
can
said...
cite people to court, right? There's a provision that said that if you don't do it, you're subject to a fine. So your code enforcement people could cite someone to court. It may also rise to the level of a nuisance.
In
such a case,
do we have a fine level?
It says subject to a fine of $2,500 for each offense.
Okay.
And each day he shall neglect or refuse.
So that's still good.
Yeah.
All right.
And there may be, depending on the severity of how bad a shape the sidewalk is in, it may be that it rises to the level of a nuisance. And if that's the case, the city then can possibly go in there and fix it, charge the owner for the cost of that, and if they don't pay, place a lien on the property. So, it would depend on, that would be very fact specific, but that's also a possibility.
And we have that in the ordinance.
It's in the ordinance.
The mayor has said in the past, we've got a lot of trusts in town, and so if we put it on their tax bill, it may never get paid.
Well, somebody's paying the taxes.
Somebody's going to pay it eventually, yeah.
So then, you at least are reimbursed for the cost of the work.
Right.
Yeah. Ms. Green?
So as an example, and I'm going to go with a home, so in my ward, up on Kings Highway, Ojo, over towards, I think, White Street, I don't think we have very many sidewalks past 20 feet, so let's just say it was 2,000, and if they had a lien so like I mentioned in Wichita, we had the option of having the city do it because they did multiple locations, and then we paid it off as a special tax, I believe. $2,000 would not make that much of a difference on someone's taxes.
$2,000 is for a 20-foot sidewalk, 5 feet wide. 20 feet is, it's from here to there. That's nothing.
Well, in my ward, that's about what our properties are.
Most
No.
lots are 40 feet.
They're going to be 40 plus.
40, 45.
So
Because
yeah.
that's a lot size?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then
So double that.
you've got utilities underneath there, and you've got that need to be checked, and how you're going to your sidewalks. I mean, remember what the sidewalk, that we just paid for with the grant from Nelson's funeral home, just to Fuzzies. Almost $400,000, correct?
Yeah.
But they built a wall or something too, or
Yeah,
retaining wall
okay.
or
I
something.
mean, yeah, they had, but there's places like that in front of people's houses too.
If you're
So-
a property owner,
there's
I think
already
you have a
sidewalk.
responsibility
Well,
to keep the city safe.
good luck with it, that's all I'm saying. Good luck.
Well, I think the main thing is going back and coming back, and as Paul goes through in his inspections, start looking and writing down the worst sidewalks. Because a lot of our sidewalks, and I got to noticing we've got some perfectly good sidewalks, and the people still don't walk on them. They like to walk on the streets.
Or the opposite side.
No matter what the condition of the sidewalk is. I'm not saying that's not good or bad, it's just facts. But Paul can go by and at least start looking at some of the more critical sidewalks that are busted up. And maybe this Public Works needs to take some of these too, If you'll give us that address, we'll look and see who's responsible for that. And maybe Black Hills Gas, they've been doing a lot of gas work, so usually they're good about paying that. Yes, ma'am.
And that brings up another point about sidewalks is all the weeds overgrown. So if you're allergic to bees, the wildflowers are beautiful growing up in between them, but you're going to walk on the street. Or if you have a bush growing out onto the sidewalk, you're going to avoid the bush, because I know, places that are like that through town as well. I don't know.
I know, and we've also cut down those bushes, and then we caught holy heck for cutting down the
Well,
bushes.
trim them back is all off the sidewalk, but.
So, yeah. All right, any further discussion? All right, Ms. Groening.
So can I put on, I know we'll do it at the end, but I can bring some ideas to the table at the next council meeting then?
Sure.
Okay.
Mr. Alonzano.
Listening to Ms. Groening has sparked some things in my head about residents and business owners on Main Street, like North Main, where one side you have a sidewalk, the other side you have what I call a moat, and property owners have the street, a small patch of land, and then an unprotected moat that people can, they literally do. The sidewalk is there, they don't use it, they would rather look and see what's in the moat. So my question is, and I know people have actually died in this moat, but my gosh, what's the question here? What is the property owner responsible for when the moat was placed there by the city, correct?
Talking about the creek.
The creek, the drainage ditch. I call it a moat. Yet, what's the liability of the property owners and business owners on North Main Street, even though a sidewalk is available on the opposite side? We get it all the time at my property where people come onto my property and want to look down and see what's in the moat. And there's no guardrail, there's no handrail, there's nothing.
There's little bridges that cross over it to get to their properties, like their little driveways or a bridge.
So is the drainage easement of the city?
I believe
It
it's
doesn't have an
highway.
easement.
It's a creek that runs along Main Street, but it has like walls and the creek is very channeled.
I mean,
It's like a medieval moat.
I'd have to look into that, but that wouldn't be a question of liability for the city, I don't think.
I mean, it hasn't come up from any property owner that I know of other than myself, because I get it all the time.
Right. I mean, that may be an issue for each individual property owner, but that wouldn't be something that the city, it's a natural.
It's not
creek?
natural, no. It was man-made by the city, correct?
Yeah. Mr. McClung?
The city established a long time ago that that is individual property owner's responsibility. If that caves in, you as a property owner, if it caves on your property, it's your responsibility.
So I guess my question is, can people put barriers to stop people from crossing onto my private property, something I am liable for, and I'm trying to prevent them from falling in? Is that something that property owners up and down the street can do?
I would suppose if it's approved with the HDC, I don't know, but
That would be out of the scope of what I'm paid to do.
And it may have to do with
So-
Arkansas Department of Transportation.
I just had like 1,000
Because
questions come up from
you're
your
dealing with
discussion.
Arkansas Highway 23. State.
Mr. Mayor,
Mr.
the highway department owns on North Main, it's curb to curb. I remember we learned this down at the railway station when they divided that
Inside
property.
of curb to inside of curb.
Yeah. And I've noticed, I don't know about your property, but some of the other properties along there, your property ends, or their property ends on the edge of the moat, not in the moat. You don't own the moat. It's in,
Well, if I don't own it, why am I responsible for it?
well, it's kind of like sidewalks.
That's your
where'd you get that? I never heard that.
Well, people are responsible for the sidewalk in front of their house, but it's on city property. Right? Same deal. Or people are responsible for stone wall. May not even
I
be
got
on
us
your
off
property.
task. We can return and
Can we
adjourn,
move on,
whatever you want
Mr.
to do.
Mayor? Please.
All right. All right, any further questions? If not, let's continue on with new business item number 4 with the ordinance for annual property tax levy. Get a motion to discuss.
Motion to discuss.
Second.
Okay. I have a motion to suspend the rules and assign this ordinance a number and read for passage, or read for, put it on first reading.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to suspend the rules and assign this ordinance a number and read it by title only.
Second?
Do you have a second? All right. Any further discussion? All right. Roll call?
Harry Meyer,
Yes.
David Avanzino,
Yes.
Steve Holofield,
Yes.
Susan Gruning,
Yes.
Terry McClung.
Yes.
Signing ordinance number 2377, an ordinance levying a tax on all real and personal property in the city of Eureka Springs, Arkansas.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we approve ordinance 2377 on its first reading.
The question?
Yes. Well, let's have a second, and then you can have.
Go ahead.
Second.
All right. Go ahead. With
My question, we've spent a lot of time tonight talking about streets and sidewalks and all this kind of stuff. Why are we just assessing this tax on real and personal property that's going into general fund and fireman's relief and pension fund? Why are there not more, I guess is what I'm asking? Because I was not aware that we needed funds to go into number 1 or number 2, but we do need funds for other things, is my question.
I think there's a law that states what we can use in the amount down here. Michael, are you familiar with personal property and real property tax?
That the personal property tax does come into our general fund, and a portion of it, I believe, does go into the fireman's pension fund. But we get the property taxes once a month. We'll get our largest check coming up because they were due
The 15th.
the 15th, yeah. And so we'll get a big check in the next month or so for it. But yes, it does go into our general fund, the property tax. It's on our budget.
I mean, this is just the reauthorization of the tax that you're required by law to reauthorize this tax every year.
Yes.
If you wanted to initiate a new tax, that would require a different ordinance, another ordinance, and then a vote of your citizens. So that's all, if I'm understanding correctly, this is just a reauthorization of the taxes that you already have on the book that you're required to do every year.
So this is not a new ordinance?
No.
This is a...
No.
Just renewing it. annually.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is what our...
And this is on property taxes,
Yeah.
not on sales tax or anything like that. This is
That's good
what's
to know.
collected
Thank
through
you.
property taxes.
Okay.
Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
You just have to reauthorize it every year.
Okay.
All right, any further questions? All right, all in favor of those, roll call?
David Avanzino,
Yes.
Steve Holofield,
Yes.
Harry Meyer,
Yes.
Susan Gruning,
Yes.
Terry McClung.
Yeah.
All right. Do you want to do this for a second reading? Or wait?
Yeah.
When
No.
does it have to
I
be
think
done?
didn't she have to assign it a number?
Already has.
Read
She
it?
did.
Oh, we already did that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, we're on
Where was I?
second reading. Into the table.
I just have to get it to her by November, so as long as we pass it by the
You were
first
thinking
meeting
about
in
the
November.
sidewalks.
So we can do a
Let's have
reading
a
each.
read it for the second time. Get a motion to read for, suspend the rules and
All right, I move we suspend the rules, read ordinance 2377 for its second time by title only.
thank you.
Second?
Ms. Greening seconded? Okay. Mr. Meyer made the motion and Ms. Greening seconded. Any further discussion? All right. Roll call?
Terry McClung,
Yes.
Harry Meyer,
Yes.
David Avanzino,
Yes.
Steve Holofield,
Yes.
Susan Gruning.
Yes.
Ordinance number 2377, an ordinance levying a tax on all real and personal property in the city of Eureka Springs, Arkansas.
I move that we approve ordinance number 2377 on a second reading.
Second.
All right, Mr. Meyer made the motion to read 2377 for approval on second reading. Mr. McClung seconded. Any further discussion? Roll call?
Steve Holofield,
Yes.
Terry McClung,
Yes.
David Avanzino,
Yes.
Susan Gruning,
Yes.
Harry Meyer.
Yes.
All right. Any agenda setting items? Yes, ma'am.
Sidewalk ideas?
Okay. Anything else? All right. Let's go ahead and have council comments. Ms. Gruning?
So Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue seemed to be a success. We had great weather for it, and it was loud, but, you know, it's the sound of money, I guess. I would like to have street updates as a regular update. We also had some crazy last couple of meetings here, and I kind of just wanted to say that along with everybody, I know we say we're truly honored to be here on the council and alongside each other, but I am, and we're a diverse group, and that diversity is our strength. I believe each of us has value to bring. We have experience, we have other committees we sit on that we can bring information to the table. I'm still stuck on this whole communication thing. I think it requires us to put aside our differences and step into a mindset of respect, openness, and collaboration. Progress will not come if we're stuck in conflict or complacency. It's kind of like the forming, norming, storming. You get through that storming stage to performing, and our city counts on us to perform. We have to make sometimes some tough financial decisions that affect our constituents and our city, but that's our responsibility. Strong leadership demands we look ahead, and I think we need to get out of this rut of feeling like we're rubber stamping, but what can we do to break down the barriers to bring our city forward? Really listening to each other, respecting each other. Every voice here is valued, and this is where better solutions emerge. I respect and appreciate that our mayor facilitates our meetings, but the real responsibility for the city rests with us, the council. We took the oath, and it's time we honor it fully. So I just, I'd like to see us commit to that, rise to the challenge together as the city councilmen, and we're here not to just govern, but to lead the city going forward. That's my speech.
Mr. Holyfield.
CAPC update, we've had our second workshop on next year's budget. We're determined to have a balanced budget for next 2026. We'll have another public workshop before we vote on it. It's not due till February. Next meeting is October 29th, 5 p.m. Do have a vacancy still posted. If you know anybody who wants to be on the CAPC, have them send in the application. And loving this great weather. That's it.
Mr. Avanzino.
Yeah, so Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue, like Ms. Gruening said, was fantastic. I don't know if it was the biggest that I've seen yet, but it was certainly a lot more profitable for the people that I've spoken to. I want to give a shout out to our fire and emergency services crews. The very first day of Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue, I think we heard 6 ambulances go by and had 3 helicopter dispatches from what I've heard. I don't know this for a fact. Terry, you may know. So thanks to all these guys that are always out there doing that job. Yeah, that's all I have to say.
Ms. Meyer?
Yeah, I think there were more accidents this weekend, even before the weekend started, than we'd had in the past. And I hope everyone who got hurt survived.
Mr. McClung.
Yeah, I'm disappointed that the city council chose not to throw the citizenry a bone in regards to their water bills and the I&I fund. It certainly was not. It's the purpose of the removing that was not to shortchange the city. It's, as I said earlier, as was explained to us, in my understanding, and we talked about it many times, that it was that you had to discontinue it, that you couldn't run the 2 simultaneously. And that's what, that you couldn't have the one, that the money was going to have to come out of the water bills. That's the way it was explained to us, and that's the only reason I asked for it in the first place.
Regardless.
And to try and give the citizenry something back, because we're going to continue to increase their water bills. And it is critical that we try and pass the sales tax, whatever we determine it's going to be, and hopefully the mayor will set that meeting up real soon, I don't know what the delay has been, but he has a reason, I suppose. But I would like to see that done so we can, get the process started so people can start being educated as to the need of it and get them ready for that election or that vote for that, which will probably occur at the next general election. So that's all I have.
It's October, got a lot of things going on. People are already coming into town. This weekend is the War Eagle Crafts Fair, so we'll have even more people wandering through these hills. During this time, too, we got at the Eureka Springs Carnegie Library, we've got the Freaky Film Fest starting Thursday, October 16th from 6 to 8. Everybody's welcome. It's free, so come on out for that. Downtown Eureka on the 17th, Friday from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. we'll have the Harvest Witch Festival. So you'll see a lot of, I guess, witches going running around town.
Exciting.
And then on the 17th also from 5 to 9 will be the 23rd Annual Mad Hatter's Ball, which this year's theme is the 2025 Space Oddity. Starting at 5 p.m., going through 9 up at the Historic Crescent Hotel. And Oktoberfest, it's the next day, Saturday, October 18th, from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. downtown Eureka. The Eureka Springs Rotary Club and taste craft and seasonal beers from our region. So come on down and fill up on bratwurst and listen to live music and taste some of the craft beer around. Cabbage Head and the Screaming Radishes will be in Basin Park Saturday from 4 to 6 on the 18th. And then I didn't go last year. I'm going to try this year. The Northwest Arkansas Ballet presents Dracula at the Odd, Saturday, October 18th from 7 to 9. So you can get your tickets at Northwest Arkansas, NWABallettheater.org. So if you're interested, go ahead and try to get that. And then on the 22nd through the 25th, we'll have the Nightmare in the Ozarks Film Festival, which is the 25th 2025 Nightmare in the Ozark Film Festival returns. Films are screened on the screen, are shown on a 20-foot-6 screen in front of all the seats in the auditorium. And then on the 25th, Saturday the 25th, we'll have the Eureka Springs Zombie Crawl. And if you've never been, it's quite an event. So it's all ages, family friendly, parades, kicks off at dusk and features slow moving hordes of walking, talking zombies, hearse and spooky car displays, street performers, and live music. So it's a lot of fun, real interesting. So I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Don't forget the Silent City.
And the Silent City. I'm sorry, that's right. That's this
Starts
weekend.
Thursday the 16th.
It's only for 2 weekends.
2 weekends, this weekend and next weekend.
Yeah. So if you get a chance, be sure to go out and see that. So what's the theme this year? Do you remember?
Yeah.
Dead people.
Yeah, dead people. All right.
I'm not involved.
So we're adjourned. Thank you.
If you've never been, it's worthwhile.
I've never been, no.
They actually have
I've been
people.
to the witch station. I went to the zombie
To
thing.
adjourn? We did.
No.